What's up, Freedom Family? Certified High Performance Coach Trisha Turns. I'm chilling here with my pup. He is really, really unhappy right now. If you can see him here. Oh, hi. If you can say, his name is Conway, but my significant other loves to write Conway on his cone, just for our fun and joy as we carry him up and down the stairs to go to the bathroom. Poor guy tore the ACL right off of his bone. Like, didn't even tear it, just tore the whole flippin' chunk off. But I wanted to come on here this evening. It's Sunday. I just got done with a bike ride. It's amazingly warm in New Jersey. And, but I wanted to talk about one thing.꯫ Over the weekend, I had a conversation come up with this woman that I talk to at a store. I'm always meeting random people. I love to just pick people's brains. I love to see how people think. I love to see what is going on in their world. I'm just a curious person. And sometimes it comes off maybe a little too much, but I do my best to read that. I'm pretty good at reading people's energy. But I had this woman that I was speaking with, didn't know her well, so I had to be very careful in talking to her about this. But I overheard her say, as we're talking, that she said, you know what, I don't like when it's quiet. We were talking about, I don't know why we were talking about having fans on. We're talking about having fans to sleep. Actually, we're talking about sleep. I don't know what brought this on. And she said, oh, I don't like it when it's quiet. And immediately I'm like, radar, because that's that story that we tell ourselves, right? It's, I don't like it when it's quiet. And so in the best way possible, I said to her, that's because you're afraid of silence. And didn't really know how she was going to take it, but she took it super well. We ended the conversation having a great conversation, but she's scared of being in quiet. She's fearful or a little bit nervous about being in silence, which is why she wants to constantly have things on all the time. Hi, Yola. And so I think for a lot of people, when you constantly have things all around you going on and you never have this quiet time, this is literally the number one thing. Silence is the number one thing that will rid you of this scatterbrained business owner mentality. And everyone thinks that as a business owner, you have to be that way. It's absolutely false. You don't have to, and you have to own that. You have to own the fact that you are being scatterbrained because you're creating it yourself. But if you want to rid yourself of that and you want to be able to be more focused and more in tune with what's going on, bring your attention to things quicker, right? Get into projects faster, be able to change hats in an instant and be focused on what's going on and not let what was happening over here affect the way you're showing up here now. And so your transitions as you transition throughout the day will get better if you allow more silence into your life. And I kid you not, some people are like, oh, meditation, and Yola knows, you know what I'm talking about. Meditation, oh, it's woo-woo, like it's whatever. No, that's a bunch of BS. No, it's proven. Like, you guys can look all over the internet to find the legitimate people that are studying and researching what meditation does for people. But if you're flying around by the seat of your pants, which a lot of you are, right? It's time to get control of that and own your shit, own your agenda, own your calendar, own the fact that you're missing out on so much stuff. You have blinders on because you're going at the speed of light. Because I know that going at the speed of light might seem fun and exhilarating at the time. I know for me it did. I used to love the fact that I'd be pulled in all these directions, right? And I'd have to because it kept everything fresh. I was just a go with the flow kind of person. And I had to change that story because if I wanted to scale my business, if I wanted to grow, then I had to be able to change my story, because at that point, if it didn't serve me anymore to go with the flow. At one point, I could have been a gypsy all my life. I thought, right? I totally thought I could have been gypsy style, go all around, just kind of fly by the seat of my pants, go with the flow, whatever. No, if I wanted to scale any type of business, if I wanted to run my own business now at this point in my life too, I needed to be able to pull the reins in and get control of my schedule and actually get hyper-focused. Because the level that I want to reach in my business is beyond where I'm at. Like my aims are high. Like I am, my standards are set like extremely high, and I hold myself accountable to that. But the only way that I can get there, and the only way that you can get there, if you've set some pretty hefty goals this year, which hopefully you have, if you did my practical action and vision planner, which hopefully you did. If you didn't, please private message me and I will get it to you as soon as possible. If you did that, you would know that there are some huge goals that you're really setting for the lifestyle that you want and for the business that you want that's going to be aligned to that. All right. With 5 minutes, literally 5 minutes of silence, people don't like sitting in that because they don't like the thoughts that come up while they're sitting in that. And that's really unfortunate, but it's fortunate in the fact that you have to actually sit there in order to sort through those. You have to actually sit there for long enough, and eventually, even if you do 5 minutes a day and you do that for the next like 50 days, eventually you will be able to sit in silence and not think a thing. But it takes consistency, like anything, right? Just like you tell your kids, if they want to be able to hit the baseball, they have to do it over and over and over in order to get a home run, right? Like, seriously. Thanks, Yola. Oh, girl, the more you study and practice this stuff, the more synchronicities you'll notice. Yes. Okay, so Yola said that the more synchronicities will happen, which is obviously happening for her, the more that you do this stuff, and it's totally true. And it's synchronicities because your attention is on it, right? It's synchronistic because it's not just that it's just floating out of thin air and it's there, it's that your attention is drawn to things all of a sudden. So I remember when I was in New Hampshire, we were traveling all summer in our camper, and there was the synchronistic word came up in my meditation, and I started to like think on that. And the reason that it came up is because there was this thing that happened with deer that happened to me like 3 times in the same week, and I was like, that's a sign, like weird things were happening. And I was like, okay. And I had been meditating a lot, Yola, to your point. And whether you think that it's woo or not, I don't care. Like, this is how I live. I'm a super spiritual person, and I go towards things and I lean towards things that are calling for me. And so in that moment, there was synchronistic things that were happening. I was trying to figure out some type of meaning to them. Maybe there's no meaning at all, right? But it's just a sign. To me, it was just a sign that I was in the right direction at the end of the day. That's what I pulled from it. But when that happened, I'm like driving down, we just get into New Hampshire. We're in North Conway, New Hampshire, which is why we named our dog Conway. And I see this huge blue sign that just says synchronistic on it. Like, literally there was a store called Synchronistic something. I can't remember the name of the store, but it was in like super bold. And like, I have been to that town probably 5 times now, and I've never seen that store. I doubt it was new, but that's the stuff that starts to come up when you start to do the work. I had a client who started to do Brendon Burchard's 5-minute meditation. It's called the release meditation technique. Literally, you just say release to yourself over and over and over for 5 minutes as you breathe. So you breathe in, and then you exhale, and you say release in your head. And actually, you're supposed to start to say it out loud and then eventually say it in your head to yourself. So if that gives you a starting point today, fantastic. Start there. Do that every single morning or every single transition, or when you feel like you're starting to get into a heightened state of anxiety. I was in a heightened state of anxiety today in Costco. Big time. I've been having eye issues a lot, and so I was in there, and the bright lights in there just were really irritating, and there were so many people in there. It was a rat race in there, and I had to, like, at one point just go next to the cart while Ben ran over to get some other stuff and just kind of close my eyes and go into the zone for a second to bring myself into that place to be able to, like, get my shit together, because I could feel myself physiologically starting to get really annoyed and just anxious. So for a lot of people that have anxiety, that can be trained through this silence technique, right? It's the one thing that literally, if you want to be, nobody wants to be scattered. Like, if you think about the people in your team when you go to work, and you think about the people, if you are a business owner, which the majority of you in here are, how do you want your clients to look at you? What do you want them to think of when you stop and have a conversation with them, they walk away? What do you want them thinking about you? What do you want your team thinking about you when you host a meeting? Do you want them to think that, wow, she was really scattered today? Or, hey, he was really like off today? Like, he was like all over the place? Like, that's not what, I know that's not what you want. But for a lot of you, you're leading that way. And it's really, really detrimental to the success of your business, number one. And ultimately, if you want your lifestyle to be in line with your business and you want to be a kick-ass business owner and not feel like you have to be working in the business all the time, because you all know that it's possible not to, but you're not removing yourself. If you want more time freedom, location freedom, financial freedom to do that, you have to get focused. You cannot be scatterbrained all the time because everybody else feels it. All right, so that's my 2 cents for today. I want you to pick something to practice, guys. This is really important. I am going to start to do more lessons this week, and on, let's see, what is it, Wednesday? I'm shooting for Wednesday, but I am going to launch registration for my 5 days to Fierce Focus Challenge, which will be doing a lot of great stuff. I'm so excited for it. So keep an eye out for that. If you have a team member or a partner that you want to invite into this group to do that challenge with you, I highly, highly recommend it. Get a support buddy, get an accountability buddy, and let's do it. It'll be 5 days. It'll be not this coming week, but the following week, Monday through Friday. There'll be a lesson every day. You'll get a full-on workbook that you'll print out and be able to follow along with the lessons. You will need the workbook for sure. So as soon as you register on the page, when I have it ready, the page is actually ready. I just need the workbook to be ready. It's almost done by my designer, and as soon as it is, I'll throw it in there so that you can easily register, and then it will pop right up for you, and you can download it onto your laptop computer, or you can do whatever you want with it. Print it. Most people will want to print it so that you can actually write something in there. Hi, Janine. Janine, you would love this. Just saying. But anyway, it's free. It's totally free, so get your team members in there if you want to do that. I will be posting the live videos of the lessons in this group. So they'll need to be in this group. Whether they're a business owner or not doesn't matter. Like, my goal is to just affect people in bringing greater clarity and focus into their days and greater attention through some ruthless rituals. So we're going to be putting together some ruthless rituals in this 5-day challenge. So, okay. Happy Sunday. Have an amazing day. I'll see you soon.